Welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Hot Song Podcast. Today is June the 26th, I believe. Yes, 2025. So our topic this evening is still talking about clairvoyance. Let me just actually do a share screen. And so clairvoyance, and the second talk on clairvoyance. We talked a little bit about what clairvoyance really is last time. So just to do a very brief recap. So clairvoyance is really to I would say get information that is not readily available to our normal five senses. So more specifically, clairvoyance, as the name suggests, is about the ability to see. So ability to be able to see things that are not actually out there in solid. So as in being able to see energy and also being able to see the story and get more information behind an image. For example, being able to see someone and be able to tell from their aura, what's going on with with them emotionally, or even pick up things like karmic consequences that's kind of going about in running their life. So those are all clairvoyance abilities. So the reason why I'm interested in delving more into clairvoyance and also I would say other ways of being able to get information that's not available or readily available to the five senses is because it is really about getting to know our soul, our own soul better. Our own soul is so much it knows a lot more than our brain can actually hold. It can access information that is not something that we have actually experienced or read about or heard about. Our soul actually has a lot more information that's available to it. So as we start to develop our extra senses, we are also getting to know our own soul as well. And what information do we get? Can we get through our soul? It really depends on the way our soul is made up. So when we start to develop these extra senses, we are also really delving into what is the strength of our soul, because every soul is a little differently. Not everyone is equally strong in all areas. I don't think that is that's very practical. Some souls are better at doing certain things than others, just like in human beings. Some human beings are better at body movement. They can dance really well. Other people can pick up they can pick up a book and be able to retain what they learned so much better and be able to use. Some people are strong in sciences and maths, and some people are really strong in arts, being able to draw or play music. So we all have our strength, just as each soul has its strength as well. Does not mean that our soul cannot do certain things. It's just that it is naturally better at doing certain things, and it may not be as developed in others. However, it does not mean that we cannot evolve our soul. so that it's more well-rounded as well. So one of the ways of being able to access our soul energy is to be comfortable in our body. And when we can also have peace in our heart, meaning that we're not overly distressed or emotional. So usually when we are more in a neutral state, that's when we can start to listen to the information that the soul is passing to us. And when we are calm, we are not overthinking things, then because the mind, we've put a lot of emphasis on using our mind, using our brain. And we are now starting to access the soul power. So when our mind is so active that we cannot even hear what our soul is trying to tell us, that's not going to help us. So when our mind is calm and we don't have a lot of emotional, we're not dealing with a lot of triggers emotionally, then we can actually listen to what our soul is trying to communicate with us. And when we are being the observer is actually really the best way to access information that our soul is trying to give to us. So I talked about two ways because and when I talked about how to work with the soul being at the 0 point, and the real I is the the place in our body that we can actually start to access the information that is coming up from our 0 point. So one of the ways that we can really see what's going on at the 0 point is that we can create an orb and project that orb outside. And the orb is actually a 3D representation of our 0 point. So it's just that the 0 point is inside. We may not be able to see it very well. And when it is being projected out in an orb that is about 8-10 inches outside of our body, then we can actually see what's going on. We can see what is the color of the orb. We can see whether there are any dark spots in the orb, and then we can start to work with it as well. So that's why when we start to develop our clairvoyance, one of the ways is to actually just have a screen. The screen is not screen is kind of a mental device to make the real I to be like the screen on a like when we go into theater, movie theater, we have the screen. The screen is where the projector would put the image on. So we are just using that as a way to be able to develop that clairvoyance, is to make our real I function as a screen. So that's what that means. Screen is at the real I. We can either do that, or we can make the orb the screen as well. So either way will do. You can pick one for yourself. Actually, any questions so far? This is just review from last week. So questions, comments so far before we continue with this week's? All good so far? Okay. Then let's continue then. So the next is, this week I want to talk a bit more about, so how do we make sure that how do we develop that clairvoyance ability? So a few things that is going to give us better access to our clairvoyance ability. The first thing is, of course, strong soul energy. So 0 point. Everyone's soul is perfect in its way. So strong soul energy. So we do have strong soul energy to start with. 0 point. What can impact that is if we have a lot of trauma, then that is going to put blockages in how that soul energy can be carried into the real eye area and be able to receive messages. So strong soul energy is also, if we want to make sure that we have strong soul energy, is to do inner work. Things like trying to resolve our own trauma, whether it is from this lifetime or from previous lifetimes. Is more work you can do in that area, the better or the stronger your 0 point would be able to express itself. So, and we'll talk about ways that we can work with it a little bit later on as well. Okay, so strong soul energy, which means really working with the 0 point. And I also suggest that the more you access your 0 point, the better you will, because you're really training your body to be able to communicate with your soul. So the more you pay attention, the more you do 0 point activate, then the stronger your connection with your soul energy would be. And that's also something to take into consideration as well. So which means that as much as you can, or as at least once a day, is to really activate your 0 point. Because 0 point is where your soul energy sits. So when you consciously activate your 0 point and just give yourself a bit of time, as I would say, at least a few minutes, just to focus in on your own 0 point, to just connect with that, and just be the observer. Just observe whatever is coming from your 0 point, your own soul energy. So do that at least once a day. If you can do it more than once, then that'll be even better, of course. But at least once a day, just activate 0 point and just spend a few minutes at it. It does not have to be very long. Of course, if you have longer time available, it's even better. Then you can really strengthen that communication. So once a day, activate 0 point, spend a few minutes or more with your 0 point, just listening, just spending time with your soul energy. And then the next one is strong central meridian. The central meridian is, remember I mentioned that there is, I think we've talked about all the like our Kundalini, we have chakras. So the central meridian also has points. So that's been covered in, I forgot when we did that. Maybe last year or maybe earlier this year. I forgot when we actually covered the central meridian. We actually talked about all the different central meridian points. So it basically starts a little bit, maybe about 6 inches below our below the first chakra. So it's a little bit outside the body. And the last point is also, when we move up, it's also a little bit above our physical head. So that is the central meridian. But you can actually just, to be very precise, or to be just just to activate it is just imagine that there is this energy tube, a prana tube, I would call it, and that is in the middle of your body. And when you just kind of visualize that in the middle of your body, there is this energy tube, and it is the central meridian, and breathe into it. And just consciously pull energy into it, and then breathe out from it until you actually can feel that energy running strong within yourself, especially if you activate your 0 point and your real eye together. When you breathe into it to activate those 2 points, start to feel that there is really this solid prana tube that's in. So the more you can spend time to strengthen your your central meridian, then the more powerful, because that central meridian is what would be able to carry the messages from your soul energy all throughout your body. So when the central meridian is strong, then you'll be able to receive the energy better as well. Of course, it also depends on clearing any trauma within body as well, because the trauma is going to create energy blockages within the central meridian. So, and then the third is strong and clear orb. So we've talked a little bit about what the orb is. The orb is just a projection of our 0 point. And when we start to work with the orb, we actually would be able to start to clear the 0 point as well, clear any trauma within the 0 point as well. So, okay. We talked about how to control your orb. Oh. It's not OLB, it's ORB. So how to control your orb. ORB orb. We talked about this a little bit, is really to activate 0 point and to activate orb. And then when you start to breathe into your 0 point and also your orb as well, then you would start to feel the orb getting stronger and stronger. And when you kind of put your hand in about 8-10 inches in front of your real eye, you should be able to feel that there is a some energy in front. Because when you actually place your intention, then the orb is being formed. So the more you breathe into it, into your 0 point and into the orb, you should be able to feel that there is something there. And then also to ask the orb to go home. So orb home, activate, and then just feel the orb moving back towards your real eye and then settling at the 0 point. And then you just break state. So you open your eyes for a few minutes and then you close it again and then you activate the orb again and just feel the orb being projected out again. So that's controlling your orb is the first thing to be able to just activate it and then ask it to go home, kind of like a deactivate. But it's just just asking the orb to go home. So this is just to train how you communicate with your soul energy. So this is part of controlling and connecting and working with your soul energy is really to activate the orb and then get it to go back to your 0 point and then kind of do that. When you do that, enough, then it becomes automatic and you don't really have to put too much energy into it after a while. And then once you call the orb out, what do you do with it? You can start to clean. So clean and clear your orb. So how do you clear your orb? There's something called whirlpool. Whirlpool is really a command to ask your orb to turn. So when it spins, then it creates like a whirlpool effect. And when it's spinning, it has more strength. So you can do things like not mind release activate. And as it spin, it will start to be able to clean out, to cleanse the information in there that is not yours. So you kind of release all the energy that does not belong to your own orb. So you clear that, and then also karma release. So do this as well, because this is your own soul energy. So it listens to you. If you really give the intention that you want to release these things, then your soul would start to do it by using whirlpool, which is kind of strengthening your orb energy. Okay, so this is how you can start to clear and cleanse your own orb. So, questions so far? Hello, hello. I know there are some people that joined in the meantime while we were
No
talking.
questions.
So far, so good, right? Simple.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Sure.
We need, when you have emotions or anger or traumas, does that mean that the orb is not home? It contains those emotions, and in
Depends.
order to
It depends on yeah, it should be there as well. It would be reflected in your orb as well.
so if we give command or go home, that means you can calm down or you can resolve those emotions.
No, no, the or go home just means it's just you haven't quite worked with it yet. So
Mhm.
when you work with your orb, you should be able to see the color of your orb. So it
Mhm.
depends. So the color of the orb actually tells you the state of your soul. The ideally you want the color of your orb to be like golden yellow would be good, or even white would be good. So those are the good colors. Um
Mhm.
so if purple is still a good color. The colors that like when you have things like a red color or green color, then those color really tells you that the your orb really needs to be, or your soul energy really has a lot of other energy that is making it a certain color. So
Mhm.
the the color of the orb is, if it is purple, it's getting better. It's getting quite good. And then getting to be golden yellow is really, that's when it is strong enough to be able to do healing for others as well. So it
Mhm.
depends on the color of your orb.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
so if the color of your orb is anything other than a purple or golden yellow, then do those other things to start to do not mind release activate. So activate the whirlpool and then start to clean it out.
Mhm.
just, not mind release. Because a lot of the times we take on other people's stuff.
Yeah.
Because there's like us. There's a lot of I would say drama going on. So when you take on other people's drama, other than your own, so you're actually getting more stuff. So of course it will be reflected in your own soul energy as well. So that's
Yeah.
why when we do cleaning, when we do use the word pool to release not mind, so then you at least have your own. You don't have to carry others as well.
Yes.
And then when you do the karma release, then you're actually releasing those as well. So the more you can release those, work with your own soul energy, clean it out, then you will start to see that the color of your orb, it will start to change and move from the like red zone more to the golden yellow zone.
Mm-hmm. And do you recommend that we do this a few times a day, every day?
If you can, that will be wonderful. So it really depends on how much time you have, the color of your orb, what do you really want? So
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
okay, you're welcome. Any other comments, questions?
So in this case, you must know what your orbs are. How?
Okay. So you see it. You can see it. Okay. So you can it depends. Some people, when they close their eyes, they can actually start to see their own orb, color of their own orb. Okay. And then when you have projected your orb, really strengthen your orb. I've like even when I open my eyes, I can see I can see the color of the orb as well. So it's a very faint color because it's energy. So the color won't be like a real like solid object. It won't be that, but it's going to be a shade. Like that's how I was able to recognize that there is a color. It's a shade. So it's a very light color. So if it's yellow, it will be it seems like a very thin layer of yellow. And if it is like any other color, it will be a very faint, thin layer of that color. So that's how you can actually see. Yeah, you should be able to see your own orb. Usually, like I'm quite sure when you have your eyes closed, you will be able to see it. However, if you work with your orb enough, you can actually see it even with your eyes open.
So just to refresh, because I'm not very, constant. I mean, I'm trying to be very concentrated, but I'm not. So where is the orb is like all over the body, like when you see from going from the head 8 inches or
Oh,
so
no,
around,
no,
like that.
no.
No.
The orb is really it's really your 0 point. Okay, so
So you see the light at 0 point.
the orb is really the 0 point, but it is a
The
projected
light
version.
just as a point, or like
It's an orb.
around your body.
So it's an orb. So it's about the size of your fist, but it's like rounder. So it's
0
about the
point.
size of your fist.
And place at 0 point. So that's where you see the color.
It is, how should I put it? It is maybe about, yeah, about the size of your fist. It's about that. And it has a light color of it. And when you, so it is really the 0 point. When your 0 point travels through the central meridian and it hits the real eye, from there you send it out, you project it out. So it's about 6 inches, like no, 8 to 10 inches outside of your head, and it's right around where your real eye is, around that level. So let's just do that. Let's everybody just start to just take a few deep breaths in, because you may not be able to see it, but at least you can feel it. So you know where it is. So just breathe in and breathe out. And then just quiet, breathe in and breathe out a few more times, just to smooth out your breathing. So start to slow down your breathing. Zero point activate. Real eye activate. Just breathe into these 2 points. Breathe into your 0 point and your real eye. Breathe all the way into your sacrum and breathe out through the top of your head. Relax your body as much as possible. And after a little while, you should be able to feel there is something coming out of the top of your head, and that is your central meridian. So just breathe in and out through 0 point and real eye for a little bit first, just to strengthen and make sure that those two are fully activated. And then start to feel those 2 points pulsing. When you feel those 2 point pulsing, then orb activate. So you can have your eyes closed. Just continue to just breathe in through your real eye and your 0 point all the way into your sacrum. Breathe out through the top of your head. And set the intention that you are activating your orb. So you're sending that orb out. You're projecting it out. And then just put your hand in front of your real eye, maybe about 8-10 inches, and just feel there. See if you can feel there is something there. There's an energy there. You may not all be able to see your orb yet, but you should be able to feel that there is something there. So how anybody feel that?
Yes, it's like white grayish. It's as you said, it has a fist in front of the head, like a nose or eyes, and that area.
Yep, so there is something there. So
But not bright light, like it's kind of like being, as you say, it's not very
yeah,
bright.
it's because it is not solid. It's an energy, it's an energetic orb. So the color would be very subtle. It's like barely there, but you can see
Yeah,
it.
that's the right word. Subtle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The more you work with it, the more you start to clean it, the like it should get lighter and brighter. And the color would also be hopefully shifting into the more golden yellow zone. So when you start to clean up the like release not mine and also clean up the karma. Okay, so that's really part of working with that orb. So can you all feel that there's some energy out there? You may not be able to see it yet.
I don't feel with my hand, nothing.
Nothing? Okay, so start to activate your hands. Remember, so just rub your palms together a little bit. So you kind of activate, and then you just do the activate orb activate again. And just breathe a little bit.
I can feel a little bit of some energy there.
Yeah, there's some energy there. So it's about
Yeah, I feel
and
something.
you feel something. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
there.
Thank you.
So yeah, it is there. Because that's a great sign. That means your soul energy is working with you. So then the next is to start to try to see it. So when you try to see it, it's very important to just make sure you are calm. Calm, no expectation, don't try to force it. Just observe, see if you see anything. If you don't see anything, that's okay. Don't worry. Like the more you practice, the more you will start to be able to see something. Okay, so being able to peace and calm. So when you just observe, you don't try to force anything. If you see it, great. If you don't see it, great. So just have that no expectation and just observe and then you should be able to see something. It may be very faint at first, so don't care about what color it is. Whatever the color it is, you can work with it. Just work with being able to see that there is something there, like with your eyes closed at first. Okay, so when you're able to see it with your eyes closed, and you work with, and you like kind of breathe, and you're able to feel that orb energy getting stronger and stronger, and the orb, then you can start to open your eyes and just see if you can see something there. It will be something that is a very faint color, like really faint color. So you may see it, you may not. So don't worry, just practice. The more you practice, then you start to train your physical senses to be able to pick up these very subtle energy. And that's the way to start. And then you will start to be able to see it with time.
So it is your in front of your eyes, face.
In front of your real eye.
Oh, real.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I, yeah, a lot of times say purple, but I didn't know that's what.
Okay, that's good. Purple is good. Yeah, purple is good. It's a lovely color. Okay, so any other questions, comments? No? Okay, let's see what else we can do. Okay, so cleansing, clearing your orb. Okay. What else? Strong real eye and strong wisdom eye. So how do you get strong real eye and strong wisdom eye? Practice, practice, practice. Start the real eye is when you breathe in, like activate the real eye, and you breathe in. Just imagine breathing in through your real eye all the way to your sacrum, and then you breathe out until you feel the real eye is pulsing, because that pulsing really tells you that it is alive. So feel that pulsing. It's good. It's a very subtle pulse as well. So it's not like, your heart beat, that kind of, not exactly. So it's a little bit lighter than that. But you feel, after you breathe with it, work with your real eye a little bit, you will start to feel that it will start to pulse. When it starts to pulse, then you know that it's getting strong. For the wisdom eye as well, it is really to use it. So the wisdom eye is kind of part of, or it works with the real eye. So the wisdom eye, you just have to practice, meaning you activate it. So wisdom eye, activate. And then after that, you activate the 4 components of the wisdom eye, which is the celestial eye, which is the right upper eye. The location is where you feel the eye socket. There is a dip in the eye socket on the upper side of your eye socket on your right eye. there's a dip. That is where the celestial eye is. And then the inside eye is the lower eye socket. And if you touch the bone, you feel that there is somewhere, there's a dip. So that's where the inside eye is. And then the left side, if you just touch it a little bit, the eye socket, the bone there at the top, you feel there's a dip, and that's where the karmic eye is. And then the lower socket, that is where the vision eye is. Okay, so activate the 4 components of the wisdom eye and then use it to do something. For example, let's say if there's a delivery tomorrow. So activate your real eye and wisdom eye to find out, if they say it's going to delivery is between 9 and 12, for example, then, try to use your real eye to pinpoint when it's going to be delivered. Is it going to be right at 9, or is it going to be 10, 11, 11:30, or closer to noontime? So just have an idea of what it is, and then and then match it up. So when tomorrow comes and there's a delivery, then kind of find out whether you are right on or you're far away. Either way is fine. You're not trying to shame yourself and saying, "Here, you're no good." No, don't do that. It's just you're just checking your own work. So it kind of tells you how good you are at in this moment. The more you use it, the more you activate your real eye and your wisdom eye, the stronger they would become. So the only way to get them stronger is to actually use them. It's like a muscle. If you don't, then they may or may not work. But if you exercise it, if you just use it, then more and more they will become automatic, so that you don't even have to ask questions. The information will come to you even without you asking. And that is how you can strengthen the real eye and the wisdom eye. Questions so far about how to strengthen your real eye and your wisdom eye?
So wisdom eye spots, it's on a bone above the eye, underneath, and on the sides.
Yep.
And you just have to imagine that you activate them. What should you do to activate wisdom eye?
Just activate them. Just say activate.
Okay.
Okay, just say activate. So wisdom eye, activate, and then do those 4. It's important to activate them in sequence. So celestial, insight, karmic, vision. So in that sequence. Because you want the information to come in that way. So activate the 4 components in sequence. That's what I've been told. Okay. Any other question? Comments? Okay, let's see what else. Something else I want to go over is, remember we have the third eye, and then we have now the soul eye, or the real eye. So I just want to, I'm not sure whether I've gone over this with you guys last week, but I'm I want to go over it again this time. For the longest time, I only know about the third eye. So Sifu James is the first person that started talking about the real eye. And so what's the difference between the real eye and the third eye? So this is just a comparison to let you know. So the real eye, when you actually look at it, the real eye is a chakra. So the energy is spinning because it is, chakra is a spinning energy, whereas the soul eye is a pulsing energy. So that's how you can tell whether it's the real eye or the soul eye. That's one of them. The other thing is when you use your third eye, because your third eye is connected to the organs in your brain. So you actually, your mind, you're using mind energy. So the mind feels warm, whereas soul energy is a cool energy. Okay, so you should feel the back of your neck should be cool. And the back of your hand should be cool as well. So that's how you know that it is soul energy running versus mind energy running. With the third eye, the information that's coming in through the third eye is being interpreted by the mind, by your mind. So that's why the mind is involved, and that's why the information can be manipulated by your mind, or meaning the ego mind. Whereas soul eye, because it's from soul energy, so it's a knowing. So you just know. You don't have to think, you just know. Another way to differentiate the two is with the third eye, you can feel the emotions, whereas the soul eye, it is more of a neutral feeling. The third eye is uncontrollable, meaning that when you see an image that flash in front of your third eye, it may be just there for like a split second and it's gone. You can't really control it. Whereas with the soul eye, because it's your soul energy, so you can actually, the energy will stay there. When there's an image there, you can actually ask the image to stay. And you can actually ask the image to spin around as well. Turn around so you can look at that image from different sides, from all sides. And the third eye requires a lot of energy because you're using your brain power and all that. Whereas the soul energy it requires your soul energy, but not mind energy. The third eye is a part of the Kundalini, so it runs on the path of the Kundalini, whereas soul eye, you're using central meridian. That's why when we strengthen the central meridian, you're also strengthening your soul eye. Okay. So these are the differences that you can use to start to differentiate whether you're using a third eye or you using soul eye. However, just want to let you guys know is that, third eye, because we've been using the third eye for such a long time, we've been using mind energy for such a long time. It is the soul eye or the real eye is going to take more working with it before it starts to come on, before the power of the soul eye is starting to come on. So there is a compromise, is to merge these two energy. So how to merge? Just say third eye so I merge, activate. So that's all you need to do. Then you're kind of combining the two so that you can get information. Questions, comments? No, all good? Okay,
So soul eye, it's a real eye, right?
right.
And third eye, it's in between eyebrows.
Third eye is in between eyebrow, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Winnie, this is May. I do have a question. I'm
Yeah.
not quite sure whether it's directly related to what you're talking about here, but about running soul energy. I know that it's supposed to be cool. I do wonder because whenever I do meditation or practice with the eyes, I do get cold. You know,
Mhm.
to a point that, especially when I do meditation, it could be the fact that I could get like really, really cold. So does that has anything to do with the energy that I run, or it's something totally different?
It depends.
Okay.
So you should feel cool. But if you feel cold, then is it all over cold or only certain part cold?
Um, Depends. It depends. Let's say, for example, if I just do meditation on my own, it could be the fact. Let's say, for example, especially if it's longer than half an hour, um, like when I, you know, finish my meditation, I could be completely cold, the whole person, the whole body.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, completely cold is fine, I would
Okay.
say. So the only way is to make sure, like before you do a long meditation, is to make sure you have maybe a light blanket or
Yes,
sweater.
yes, yes. I always make sure that I wear enough warm clothes, even in the summer, because I know that it's almost like, throughout the whole meditation, my body temperature basically just dropped completely.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine.
that's fine. Okay, all
That's
right.
just because soul energy, and also when you quiet down,
Mhm,
so yeah, your body may feel naturally cooler anyways. So
mhm. Yeah. But
yeah,
but mine is actually like I would actually like when I end my meditation, I would actually feel like cold, like completely cold. If you walk into a freezer and sat there for a while and come back, that kind of thing.
okay. Yeah, okay. That should be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah, if
okay.
it's all over cold, then it's okay. But if it's just, maybe one side cold and the other side's not cold, then not so good.
Mhm. What would that mean?
Um, it could be that you need to clear your space a bit because it could be um spirits there.
Oh, you mean my environment?
Yeah, your environment.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Okay.
Because when you're meditating, you're in a different state. So
Hmm.
there may be spirits that's kind of curious, so they want to come and check you out.
Ah,
But
I see.
usually it would be like you feel maybe one side of the arm is suddenly you feel cold. then that's what that is. But if it's
I
all
see.
over cold, then it's not not an issue. It's just your own body reacting.
Right. Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Any other questions, comments? Okay, let's see. I think it's, if no more, then I think it is time for a meditation. What meditation should we do? Yeah, that's next week. Okay, why don't we, okay, I'm gonna do two things then. We're gonna activate all the eyes, and then we'll do a QBC. So 6693 then. Okay, let's do that. Ready, you guys?
Ready.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I did not stop that. So let me stop the recording